Hey there, and welcome back to the Mini Weekend. I'm your host, Jack. Get into a mini. Wow. Drink of the podcast. Tonight we went. It probably looks like the orange that we've done from Poppi before, but it's a little bit different. It's their orange cream, and holy shit, I think I might be in love. Excuse me. Drinkpoppy.com. Go check them out online before anything. But I'm just gonna let this sit with you guys for a second. You hear that? It's the sound of your taste buds' dreams coming true. Smooth vanilla joins zesty orange for a flavor that's nostalgic and totally iconic. And I gotta say, for my sherbet lovers out there, sherbet ice cream, you need this. You need this drink. Very, very good. When I first tasted it, it tasted kind of less like sherbet, more, vanilla, like extract, not so much like vanilla ice cream, but vanilla extract with like orange. And you were like, oh, this is pretty good. But then that second and third drink, this is orange sherbet to a T. I personally love it. If you love orange sherbet, you need to go check this out. You need to try it for yourself. This, I know we've done, I think we're coming up on 10, flavors of poppies that we've tried on the podcast. Holy shit, this may be my favorite. It's definitely one of my favorite, maybe my favorite now. Again, nothing wrong with the original orange, but if you know me, you know I've always been a huge sherbet lover, especially orange sherbet. And really, really good. Love the taste. And for those that may be new, and are wondering, Jack, what the hell is Poppi? Poppi is a prebiotic soda, and it's a company, one of a couple that are out there that is essentially like a healthy version of soda. Why do you want to drink Poppi? Why are they quote unquote good for you? They have prebiotics in them. They have apple cider vinegar. There's 5 grams of sugar or less in every single one, and there's 35 calories or less in every single one. Now, with that, I will caution you guys, especially for the newbies, this is not a drink that you have multiple times in a day. If you don't know, prebiotics are a special type of fiber that can act as food for healthy bacteria in your gut. Each can of Poppi contains prebiotics from agave, insulin, and cassava root fiber. Believe me, I learned the hard way myself that you can't throw down 4 or 5 of these in a day. You probably could, and I think I have gotten away with having like one early on in the day, like about lunchtime, and then like maybe I think I had one like later that night after dinner, like watching a movie or something like that. You could and probably should be okay with that. I would caution you guys, one a day. That's all you need. You don't need the tummy getting too upset with you. But like I said, try them out. If you're already a huge Poppi, Olipop is another company essentially kind of similar to this, but different. And we do both their sodas on the podcast. So go check them out. If you have already, let us know what flavor we should try next or what we should stay away from. But this one is definitely a must-have. I love it. It's one of my favorites. I'm gonna go 9-1. I'm gonna go 9-1. Like I said, it's not my all-time favorite. I know I did have it up and ready for this podcast, but I have done a little bit higher. I think there were a couple sodas I've done 9.5. I think there was 1.96 or no 1.97, a couple 9.3s. Not many though, so this is definitely one of a few. But yeah, 9.1. Can't go wrong with this. Again, personal choice. If you love orange sherbet, this is a must-have. If you don't, I would suggest still trying it. It's pretty fucking good. So yeah, go check them out, drinkpoppy.com. You can find out where you can find them. You can find your flavors. They have so many different kinds of flavors out there. You can learn more about them. You can find them on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. Drinkpoppy.com, orange cream. So with that, Tommy Town, I can't believe we're getting to this time in the sport world. It is crazy to think that college hockey and college basketball is wrapping up. I mean, shit, we're 18 days. 18 days away from March Madness beginning. Again, depends on who you ask. I like to say the first 4 games is the start of March Madness. Got some fun stuff coming up with that. And before we get too much into this stuff, March Madness bracket already up. The group is up, I should clarify. The group is up. Brackets won't be available for another 16 days until Selection Sunday has happened. But yeah, if you want to get ahead of yourselves and you want to get in the group, head over to ESPN.com, hover over fantasy, click on men's bracket challenge, and then in the join group, I think what you technically have to do is you have to create a bracket, and then you can join a group, and in the search bar, just type in the MINNY, and then by the time you're done with that, the mini weekend should be up. And oh my gosh, all right. So it looks like other than myself, who I just started it last night, there's already 3 or 4 or 5 people already in it. So go get set up if you're interested. Like I said, you can't access brackets. Brackets won't be available for the next 16 days until Selection Sunday and conference championships have happened. But yes, just be alert and alive for that. And then so like I said, men's hockey team is gearing up here. They're gearing up for their 3-game series. Their season finale sweep of the Michigan Tech Huskies. Got them home ice advantage in the number 4 seed against Ferris State, so they will be facing off with them on tomorrow, March 7th at 7. Game 2 will be Saturday, March 8th at 6, and then if a Game 3 is necessary, that'll be on Sunday the 9th at 6 p.m. And then like I said, I can't believe it's already at the end of the season for the team. Coming into this season, the Tommies were led by Cooper Gay and Lucas Wallen, who were tied with 16 goals apiece on the team. Liam Malmquist was in sole place of third with 13, and then right behind him was Matthew Gleason with 10. They were the only Tommies with double-digit goals. And then in the assist category, Liam Malmquist led the way with 23 of them. Not far behind, Lucas Wallen had 19. Chase Foley had 17. And then both Ryan O'Reilly and Chase Cheslock had 12 apiece. And then for points, Liam Malmquist, who finished with 36. Lucas Wallen with 35. Cooper Gay with 26. And then Chase Foley with 20. And then on the goalie side of things, it's weird. These last couple of years, both men and women's teams kind of seem to be going back and forth between goalies. With both Aaron Trotter and Jake Seibel played about equally as well. Trotter finished with a 7-9-2-1 record, whereas Seibel finished with a 9-4-3-2-1 record. Seibel had the better of the two, 0.20 save percentage, and only allowed a shade under 2.56 goals per game. So huge congratulations for all of them on having good, successful seasons. It'll just be interesting to see how this team can do in postseason play. For those that don't remember, they entered the CCHA play last year on a high note. They were the number 2 seed, playing the number 7 Lake Superior State, and I don't think they got blown out, but they got beat game 1, beat game 2, boom, done all of a sudden. Hope we don't see that again. And then at the conclusion of the regular season, and obviously before the postseason here, it was announced that Lucas Wallen was the CCHA Forward of the Month. The junior captain added 9 points in 6 games during a 4-2-0 February for the Tommies. The Tommies' 2-year captain led the way in a crucial final month of the regular season with 9 points in 6 games during February. He was an integral part of the Tommies' 12-3-1 record since the turn of the new year, with a team-leading 20. It's also worth noting that he was the CCHA Preseason Player of the Year, finished out the regular season tied for the league lead in goals with 16 with his teammate Cooper Gay. And this monthly honor is his first in the career of Wallen and fourth of the season for the Tommies. Malmquist was named forward of the month of January. Chase Bowler was defenseman of the month for November, and Mason Pullman was named the D-man of the month for October. So yeah, should be a fun time to watch them. Hopefully they're able to get past the first round and make some noise. Unfortunately, this is the last year that the Tommies are not postseason eligible. Meaning, if they were to go through and win the Mason Cup, great. But similar to the football team that won the Pioneer Football League in 2022, the runner-up would then get the bid for the Frozen Four. Yeah. With that, the women, not so much. So the women started their season a week earlier than the men. They got beat 2 games in a row at the hands of Ohio State this last weekend to end their season, unfortunately. So, yeah, we'll go over a couple things with them. For them, they were led by Maddie Brown, who had 10 total goals. Chloe Boring and Lauren Stenzel were right behind her with 9 goals apiece, and Riley Bartz had 8 goals. And then assists. Maddie Brown and Ella Berger were actually tied for first with 11 assists. Ella House had 10, and then Chloe Boring, Riley Bartz, Maddie Clow, and Kira Parker all had 9 assists. But for the most important stat that everybody likes, points, Maddie Brown led the team with 21 points. Chloe Boring was right behind with 18, and then Lauren Stenzel, Riley Bartz, and Ella Berger all finished with 17. And then if my memory serves me right, I believe Danny Strom was the primary goalie this year for the team. And yes, she was in fact the primary one. She finished with a 6-20-2 record, giving up a 8.90 save percentage and 3.82 goals a game. Calla Frank ended with a 3-1-0 record, and Maggie Malachek ended with an 0-4 record. So congratulations to the the women's Tommy team on another season. I can't help but feel bad for them getting stuck in the WCHA, like having to go through a buzzsaw of the Minnesota Golden Gophers, Wisconsin Badgers, Ohio State Buckeyes, and even UNB Bulldogs is just, it's insane. But at some point they'll break through and they'll be right in the thick of it. I know they will. So onward and upward. But then very similar to the men's team, because they're done, they had some or approximately 13 Tommies receiving WCHA All-Academic Team honors. The conference had 129 student athletes recognized on the All-Academic list for maintaining a great GPA of 3.0 or higher. In addition, 91 student athletes earned all WCHA Scholar Athletes honors, achieving a GPA of at least 3.5 in their previous 2 semesters or 3 quarters. The St. Thomas honorees were Ella Berger, Maddie Brown, Maddie Clow, Calla Frank, Rachel Goins, Ella House, Maddie Jurgensen, Maggie Malachek, Haley Maxwell, Allie Paul, Kira Parker, Kara Savicek, and Nicole Valario. And most of them were scholar athletes. Only Ella House, Maddie Jurgensen, Maggie Malachek, and Kira Parker were not scholar athletes. So congratulations to all of them on another great season. To the seniors, love to see all of them get drafted to BWHL. That'd be dope to be able to see them continue their careers. But thank you, and best of luck to you. Like I said at the beginning, crazy to think we're less than a couple weeks away from March Madness. Insane to think about. But with that, the men and women's teams are gearing up for Summit League play to kind of get a gauge for where they are a year before being postseason eligible. So with that, the men's team ended the regular season with a 10-9 record, 12-4 in the Summit League, only a game behind Omaha, who got the number 1 seed. Yep, they'll be taking on Denver at 8:30 p.m. tomorrow night, actually, March 6th. So super excited. You bet your ass I'm going to be watching it. We'll be on the CBS Sports Network, so that should be a fun one to watch. Yeah, that's kind of, they had a couple people already very similar to the hockey teams. back on yesterday, John Tower was named as one of 25 Hugh Durham Award finalists, by collegeinsider.com. It's presented annually to the top mid-major head coach in college basketball. He's in the midst of his 8th 22 season, first during the Division I era with the program, and third straight 19-win season since joining D1. The Tommies, like I said, finished the regular season with the number 2 seed in the Summit League Championships, and over the past 3 seasons, Towers has led the Tommies to the most regular season wins amongst all Summit League programs. The Tommies rank among the top 25 in the country in 10 categories and top 10 in 5 categories. They've been one of the most successful teams transitioning to D1, recording the second most cumulative wins through each team's first 4 seasons. And Towers actually only one of 4 active Division I head coaches with a 730 winning percentage and 200 plus wins. Calipari, Mark Few, and Bill Self are the only other D1 coaches to do that with at one program, which is huge. It's insane. So huge congratulations to him. Hopefully he wins, and the award will be announced in San Antonio, Texas, the site of the men's Division I basketball championship in early. And then also just yesterday, both Miles Barnstable and Drake Dobbs earned multiple All-Summit League honors. Guards Miles Barnstable and Drake Dobbs. Barnstable was voted to the All-Summit League first team and all-newcomer team, and Dobbs was named to the All-Summit League second team and all-defensive team. Barnstable, a senior from Sheboygan, Wisconsin, during the season ranked 11th in scoring with 16.1 points per game, 7th in free throw percentage, 8.19. Yeah, I'm not going to get into all the specifics to you guys, but it's pretty incredible. The accolades that St. Thomas has got just in the first, 4 seasons in Division I. A lot of teams in the Division I sector don't get that many awards and that many looks, and that have been there forever. So a huge congratulations to them. Can't wait to see them kick some Denver Pioneer butt tomorrow night. And then for the women's team, they are doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing as the men's team. They are patiently awaiting their Summit League game. But the ladies are sitting a little bit lower. They have the 4th seed and will be taking on the number 5 University of North Dakota. They will be playing them at noon on Friday, March 7th. And I'm pretty sure last year they won in the first round, but I'd love to see them get deeper into the conference championship, because this team I watched them a couple times this year, and I know they didn't have the best record, but this team is a lot more talented than the record shows. And just very similarly to the men's team, there were 4 women Tommies that earned all Summit League honors, and they were standouts: Jade Hill from Minneapolis, Minnesota, Amber Scally from Stillwater, Joe Langdon from Elk River were named all Summit League honorable mention, while Alyssa Sand was named to the Summit League all freshman team. So a huge congratulations to all of them. Yeah, can't wait to see how they can do against North Dakota, and hopefully make a deep run. Obviously, being the 4th seed, should they win their first round series, they're going to have to go up against number 1 seed, who I believe was South Dakota State, and I don't think they lost a single game in the conference this year so far. So, best of luck to them. Can't wait to see what they can do, and should be a fun one. And then, that's what we have for the Tommy Town tonight. We have a little bit of stuff to go over for our professional sports. Before we do, once again, want to give a huge shout out to our friends over at UNRL. Once again, I haven't shouted out everything I got from that drop I posted about you guys, so I thought I would show off a little bit more. Once again, late, but I just thought about it. I apologize. No podcast last week, and I'm just now realizing within the last 24, 48 hours, I never made an announcement, so that's my bad. My wife and I celebrated the newest addition to our family within last week, so it's been a crazy, hectic week, but we are back in full force and back to stay. So What I got on today is the ultra long sleeve. This is their cavern blue color, and personally love the color and love the feel. It's got like that buttery kind of cool but comfort feel to it, which I absolutely love. And then tonight I'm rocking their UNRL. It's their Legacy snapback. This is their khaki color. They have about 3 or 4 other colors of this. And then for their long sleeve, looks like they have close to 10 different colors in this. The other top I got from them is essentially another ultra long sleeve, just a different color. So we'll shout that out next week. But yeah, like I said, tonight we got on the the UNRL Legacy snapback in khaki and their cavern blue ultra long sleeve. Love their material, love their stuff. Go check them out. Like I said, if you're into athleisure, this is right up your alley. They got golf stuff, they got stuff you can wear bumming around the house, they got shorts, they got sweatpants, they have pants and shorts that you can dress up and dress down. They have jackets, they got nice hats, they got winter gear, jackets, they got golf bags, you name it, athleisure wise, they got it. Go check them out. You will not be disappointed. Like I said, the quality of their material is amazing. They have free shipping on U.S. orders over $125. They have a free U.S. returns and exchanges. You have 30 days to return things and 45 days to exchange. And yet they have, I haven't thankfully had to deal with it too much, but they have fantastic customer service. So if anything goes wrong, you can reach out to them. They get back to you pretty quickly, and are very easy and good to work with. So go check them out. You can also find them on Facebook, X, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So do it. Do it. I'm looking at you. Go do it. So yeah, that's what we got for our shout out this week. And then I guess just kind of get right into it. I said, with the college basketball, college hockey rounding up for the year. Yes, that means the NHL and NBA seasons are slowly coming to a close. At the conclusion of the Timberwolves game against the Hornets tonight, the Wolves have 18 measly games left. The Wild have 20 games left. And pretty crazy. I think the biggest thing I had that I wanted to talk with you guys about today, nobody specifically asked, but it seems like there are a lot of people talking about Anthony Edwards with his technical fouls. For those that don't know, he had to sit out a game. What was that? 4 games ago. We lost to the Utah Jazz, one of the worst teams in the conference. His fault, because it wasn't entirely his fault, because we were also without Rudy Gobert, Julius Randle, and Dante DiVincenzo. But obviously, he's a big part if he would have played. And we lost our B team lost by a point. So I'm inclined to think if he played that game, we would have won. But there seems to be a lot of people out there talking about Anthony Edwards. Does he need to take it easy? Does he need to amp it up? And the first thing I want to say when addressing Anthony Edwards in terms of this is I think a lot of people need to realize just how young this kid still is. He's 23 years old. Now, he is regarded as one of the best players in the league, but he's 23 years old, so he's a young kid. He's playing with, his heart on his shoulder, and I go back and forth, but ultimately some of this stuff is things you just learn as you get more into the league. But I am of the notion that he should tone it down a little bit. Now, I think that's going to come with maturity. I think that's going to come along with like Connolly. Now, I understand his frustration. Again, being one of the best players in the league, it's like what LeBron's gone through. It's like what KD's gone through. Luka, Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, some of these guys, like, you obviously want to get the calls. It's the NBA, so I don't think, as much as I love basketball, you should be bitching 24/7. But obviously, if you felt like you went up and, your arm got hacked off and you still made a shot or you didn't make the shot, there is a level of, you should be able to talk to the, now obviously, circa Richard Sherman's infamous interview on the field after the NFC Championship game. It's hard to take emotion away from talking about a missed foul like that on the court. But I think at the end of the day, he needs to, whether it's this year or next year he needs to find a healthy medium of, hey, you can go and talk to these guys and you can complain. There's a healthy way and a right way to do it, but you can't afford to be leading the fucking league in technical fouls. I had no idea he was leading the league with 16 technical fouls. But that's the reality of the situation. Once you get 16 technical fouls in a season, you're suspended for another game. That I think it's I would have to double check, but I think if he gets one more tech, he's suspended another game. Then I think after 16, I think after 17, 18, and 19, you're suspended for a game apiece. And then after once you get to 20, I think you're suspended for 2 games in a row. So he definitely has to watch his ass now because coming down the stretch here, sitting at 35 and 29 with 18 games left, we need him playing, and looking at these remaining games, going 14 and 4, 16 and 2 is doable and must have. I mean, I look at these I look at the standings, and truthfully, in my honest to God opinion, the number 1 seed, which I know in our preseason prediction, both Joe and I had us winning the division. We were wrong, but I think the only seed right now that is out of the question for us is the number 1 seed. I think right now we're locked in at the 7th seed, 16 and a half games back from the number 1 seed. So that should be pretty self-explanatory. We'd have to win out. They would have to lose out. I just don't see that happening. But I mean, it's crazy. We're 3 games out of the 5th spot. We're 3.5 games. 3.5 games out of the 4th spot, and then 6 games out of 2 and 3. So again, where you're getting down to crunch time, and you're getting down to the point where if you're the Timberwolves and if you're Chris Finch, you have to tell these guys tunnel vision. We can't be looking at what other teams are doing. We need to address, because if they play their brand of basketball, we saw this the other night or a couple nights ago when they were playing the Phoenix Suns. When they're healthy, even without Rudy Gobert, if we're healthy and we're playing the brand of basketball we're capable of playing, there's no reason we can't finish the season 18 and 0. Highly unlikely, but completely doable. I look at the remainder of this schedule, with the exception of tonight's game and last night's game. They only have one more back to back this whole season, and it's Sunday, March 16th versus Utah, and then Indiana comes to town on the 17th. And back to backs are so much easier when you got them both at home. You're able to sleep in your own bed and go like that. But again, I look at the schedule. They got New Orleans two times in 3 games, 2 times in 3 days. Second to the worst team in the Western Conference. Need to win that. Need to win those games. I mean, you got Utah 2 more times. Those need to be wins. You got San Antonio. That's got to be a win. I mean, the only games that I like looking at their schedule that I would be like, I wouldn't be upset if they lost, was they got Denver. They got to go to Denver on March 12th. And then they host Denver. No, and then they go back to Denver on the 1st. Other than those 2 games, like maybe at Milwaukee, who's the 4th seed right now, who is trying to kind of vie for a top spot, or at Indiana on March 24th, or the 17th, one of those games. Other than those 4 games, there really isn't any other games at this team. Like, I would be shocked and appalled anything less than 14 and 4 to finish the season. Now, again, that's why I say you got to have tunnel vision and focus on what this team can do, because again, they can go all now. The Lakers have LeBron and Luka. They can go all the way up and get that 2 or 3 spot. They just need to continue to win games and take care of business. They're going to need a little bit of help because if you want the 2 spot, obviously the Lakers, the Nuggets, Grizzlies, Rockets, Warriors, like all those teams are going to have to lose a couple games. But you can't be focused on shit you can't control, because they have a lot of work they have to do. They got a lot of work to be doing, or else they're going to be looking at the Lakers in the first round, or potentially the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first round. So as long as they take care of business, I am not too worried. I think this is a team fully capable of, as long as you get into the playoffs and you're a top 5 seed, 4 ideally top 5, because 4-5, that's not really much of an upset. Then, yeah, this is a team that, like I said, I didn't finish my thought. Top 4, top 5 team get in, and anything can happen. A lot of people last year, before the series even started, said there's no fucking way the Timberwolves are even holding a candle to the fucking Denver Nuggets. That was a fucking roller coaster of a series, no doubt. But they got it done, and damn near went to the fucking NBA Finals. So, let's say some prayers, get ready, because it's going to be a long couple of weeks. And then, very similar to them, the Minnesota Wild are coming off of a nice win in Seattle. I think the biggest thing for the Wild is they gotta get Kirill back. It's looking like, and they keep pushing out his return date, but right now, what is it? It just says Kirill Kaprizov is slated to be out longer than we originally expected from Bill Guerin, which is obviously no bueno, but he's a guy that you definitely don't want to come back and have back too soon and risk him getting re-injured, because this is a team that, in my opinion, just needs to get back into the. Oh my gosh, he doesn't even have an estimated return date. I thought I saw one earlier today. But yeah, I mean, you look at some of these guys on here, Jonas Brodin getting back would be huge. Being able, once Joel Eriksson comes back, will be awesome. But yeah, I'm surprised I didn't look into this. 20 games left. I think the Wild are sitting in a pretty good spot. You wish they would be better, but they're currently third in the Central Division. They're 6 games behind Dallas for the number 2 spot, and 12 behind Winnipeg for the number 1 spot. So, that number 1 seed, or the number 1 spot in the division, isn't completely out. Like, I don't think it's, we're mathematically eliminated. It's going to be a small task, because very similar to the Timberwolves, they're going to need to win a lot of their games, and Winnipeg's going to have to lose a lot of games. But yeah, I mean, anything can happen. They got Vancouver coming up here on the 7th. Pittsburgh, Colorado, New York, St. Louis, Los Angeles, Seattle again. So I mean, this is the time when you got to get things going. I think in a perfect world, if you're the Wild, you would love to get Kirill Kaprizov back 100%. By the beginning of April, which would put us at getting it back April 2nd, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games remaining. Obviously, you hope sooner. It's a process, and again, right now, the fact that we're holding steady and being able to win a couple games and not get too high or low in winning streaks, obviously you'd love to see us put a little bit more together, but without a guy like Kirill Kaprizov, it's good and nice to know that we're not just losing left and right, and we're staying right in the thick of things. The nice thing about the Wild are, like I said, they're in kind of tight situation, but like I said, they're solid in that 3rd spot. Currently, my bad. They are having a 2-point lead on the Colorado Avalanche for the first wild card spot, and then they actually have a 9-point lead on the Flames. And then I think the biggest thing for this team, they have been so dominant and so good. They're 22-9-3 on the road, and only 14-13-1 at home. They're able to win the most of their home games on the way out and get more comfortable at home, get better doing all that shit. I mean, because Gus has been showing us that he can be our goalie until Jesper's ready, but you still gotta. Gus can do his best and allow only 2 or 3 shots, or 2 or 3 goals on 38 shots. But if you're not scoring, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 goals, and slowly but surely these guys, Boldy's been stepping up. Foligno's been stepping up. It's been a group effort. Zuccarello, Hartman, Rossi, Konechnikov, all these guys. It's a group effort. You can't really replace a guy like Kaprizov, but they're doing their best they can, and they're just trying to keep us in the balance, which is exactly what you can ask of this team. And we talked about it at the beginning of the season too. Making the playoffs is all this team really needs to do for a successful season. And they're right on pace for that to happen. So, sorry, last topic I thought we would talk about NFL. So, there's been some crazy things already happening. The Chargers released Nick Bosa, which is crazy. The Chiefs are trading Joe Tooney to Chicago. There's Aaron Rodgers rumors. Surprise, surprise. We didn't franchise tag Sam Darnold. And so much stuff going on. But one of the things I thought I would address is who will be our starter week 1. And if I'm being completely honest with you guys, I am kind of torn because, like I've talked about before, I think JJ McCarthy by the end of the season will be our starting quarterback. I don't think he's going to necessarily be week 1 starting quarterback, just because I think if you're Kevin O'Connell coming off of his injury and coming off of just not playing in the NFL, you just don't want to rush him and start him before he is 100% ready. So with that, I would say if I had to rank them, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys. And right now, I would say number 1, Daniel Jones. The reason I bring up Daniel Jones and I say him first is because, well, of these 6 options, 5 of them you would actually have to pay. Daniel Jones is the one you would have to pay the least to, and he's already been in the building. You can work him up to speed. And at this point, he's okay with bringing a bridge quarterback because he's already getting paid by the Giants. 2 would be Sam Darnold. It'll be interesting to see what happens, but I would put him at 2. 3, I would put Justin Fields. I went back 3 with Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, just because I think I'm going to put him at 3, simply just because I think his price tag is going to be lower. 4 is going to be Russell Wilson. Coming into this podcast, that Steelers would have done something they haven't. 4 is JJ McCarthy. I'm going to put him kind of at the bottom there. 5 is Russell Wilson. And then 6 is actually Jimmy G. He's the one free agent I think that is maybe more of a wild card. But yeah, that's what I got for you guys tonight. Not a ton of stuff as far as Vikings are related. Hopefully in the next coming weeks we will get more to talk about. Once again, make sure you go on to ESPN.com and get started for the March Madness Bracket Challenge. And with that, I will leave you with, until next time, Minny.